Hello, and welcome to another DualShockers discussion with me, Michael Ruiz, a news editor at DualShockers. With me, once again, is Marlo Rivera. Mario, how are you doing today?
I am trying to get to the chopper as soon as I can
Who
because,
is not trying to get into the choppa? You know what I'm saying?
of course,
Today we're going to talk about Predator Hunting Grounds and the new DLC that came out, as well as Mortal Kombat Aftermath.
that's right.
Since both of those came out on May 26th, I had experience with Mortal Kombat 11. Mario had experience with Predator. We're going to talk about it today.
That's right.
Before we do that, though, make sure to check out the website, www.dualshockers.com, for cool content just like this and all other news and reviews and whatnot. Also, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/DualShockers. Like,
Oh, man. Should do a
yeah.
podcast.
Anyway, starting off, Mario,
Yes.
tell me about Arnold returning to the world of Predator. What is this? Tell me what this DLC is first, because I mean I kind of know what it is, but
Sure.
I haven't seen it like in game. So what is this new DLC that came out?
No, for sure. So this is actually new DLC for the asymmetrical shooter slash third person fighting game called Predator Hunting Grounds, where you bring four, different mercenaries, go and does a mission. They're intercepted by a predator. The predator has to take you out in order to win. You have to either complete your mission and leave the place or kill the predator. Different fun stuff that you can do. And then with this DLC, it actually brings back the original character that Arnold Schwarzenegger played, Dutch, back into the game itself. So that's actually pretty cool. You got to actually be that specific character in the year 2025. So you actually are a totally new version of the character that I've seen in any media, which is pretty awesome. And
Is it
go ahead.
is it voiced by Arnold Schwarzenegger?
100%. Unlike our other game that we're going to talk about, which does not have Arnold Schwarzenegger doing the voice.
Which arguably has a way bigger budget than this game.
It definitely did have probably a way bigger budget. But what is actually really cool about having this version is that, of course, it's going to have voice lines from Arnold, including lines that he says in the original movie. One of the biggest being, of course, is "Get to the chopper," which you can have him scream at high volume, and it's hilarious, especially if you want to annoy all your other teammates. The footage that we're watching right now is actually video that's out now. Yeah, I haven't because because that's technically a reference to a character. So unless they bring that character in, if they bring that character in, then that would be amazing.
Does he say "you ugly motherfucker"? Does he say that?
He says something close to it. I don't know if he says that exact thing.
It's rated T, right?
Yeah, so I don't think
he probably can't say fucker.
Actually, it can't be rated T. That's some gory ass stuff.
Is it?
No way.
Okay, well, keep on telling us. Let me.
You look that up. So basically, yes, you get to play as Dutch. You get the original voice acting. Your character actually is pretty cool because he's modified a little bit because his hand, the way that he like his natural like character model, he actually has the bomb thing that the Predators have, which is really cool. When you're like muddying up, you can actually see it. It doesn't have any effect. I know that he has his own perks and stuff like that because he's technically a class actually in the game because there's different classes. So he has his own set of perks. When I played the game, I had to replay it on PC. I'm a level 20 on PS4, just so you know. Level like 5 now on PC. And so I got to play it, and it was just so much fun just to have Arnold Schwarzenegger like making commands and pretending like I was in the lead, which is really cool. The other cool stuff that does come with the DLC, or at least you just told me that is actually free DLC, is actually these things called Dutch tapes. And they had these actually in like Friday the 13th. You had like Pamela tapes where they were just like dialogue tapes that you would find that would basically try to expand the lore and story of Friday the 13th. Same thing happens here. They already have a set of tapes from when the game first launched for these soldiers. There's also apparently a novel coming out that's supposed to tie into this game.
Yeah, it's like a prequel novel.
Yeah. So that's cool. I don't know how much I'll check that out, but basically, you do get these unlockable tapes. From what I saw, it looks like they're unlocked by level. So I have to go into it, but I've only listened to like one of them, and Monster is completely wiped. So nobody believes him. Nobody believes him on the incident. And then he basically goes off the grid. And then that's what the continuing story of these tapes are. And then each tape is labeled a year and like a certain phrase, leading all the way up to 2025. So I'm very curious how that actually will expand the more I unlock those tapes, because it's kind of cool to have someone who made a character so iconic come back and explore that role. You know, he's done this with Terminator. He hasn't really done this with anybody else so far in any of his characters. So the fact that he's able to bring Dutch and have him have an existing life, like what was he doing during Predator 2? I'm hoping they explain that, or what is he doing in post Predator games and stuff that we've seen after the fact. So that's what's pretty cool about this. Obviously, if the video, I have a video out actually already that you can watch right now. I'll probably link it in this video, but basically, you can watch me play a full match where I literally had all I had left was a knife. I couldn't even kill the predator. I killed the predator, and we got into the plane and dip. So that was fun.
Nice.
But basically, so that's what this game is. It's just love. It's just extra little love. For the character. Now, to be granted, it is, I believe, $6.99. I believe is what I actually paid. It's similar to like having like a Mortal Kombat character, but I'm not. I think those characters are cheaper. Am I wrong?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but I know that if you get the combat pass, I'm pretty sure was for 6 characters was $25.
$25. So
if you buy them piecemeal, I would assume they're around like $5.99.
Okay, gotcha.
Or $4.99. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not entirely sure.
No, for sure. So if you're into the Predator and you actually like having fun with this game, I think getting the Dutch pack is actually kind of almost like a necessity. Only because you get so much more out of it. Even though I kind of wish it was in the game to begin with, because how great would it be to have a known person like the Predator, obviously, versus off of someone that survived that ordeal, because this technically is canon till later, so putting the other people in there wouldn't make sense, but F it, like why not?
I think they tried doing that in a sense with like putting the Predator from the original film in there, like the skin for it, to have some sort of connection to like the movie and stuff, to get people hyped for the game and stuff. I remember seeing the Illfonic people on Twitter like posting that like, oh yeah, we had the honor of having Arnold do voiceover for it and stuff, and like that gives it a bit more authenticity to like it being canon now and all that stuff. Sure. I think that's pretty rad that they were able to do that. The one question I guess I have, I guess there's 2 questions actually.
Sure.
The first is do the voice tapes and stuff like that with Arnold. Does it feel like he's trying to like act it, or is he like just saying the line,
I'm glad you asked me that, because I was going to bring that up.
Okay.
So while I'm very happy that Arnold Schwarzenegger was able to reprise the role of Dutch, there's definitely a lot. The lines written for him, whoever wrote the lines, definitely sounds like there are certain parts where he should emphasize, and it clearly sounds like he's sitting at his kitchen table with a microphone. Which I guess is what the character's doing, because he's just sort of like talking to this tape, but he's not doing it in like a normal like audio tape would. Like when you think of audio tapes, you think of like BioShock, and they still emphasize when they talk, especially during different parts. Yeah. Like there's a part where he like says "F the government" or like the governments are liars or they're hiding the truth. Like he's more like the government is hiding the truth. Also, like just keeps going down his list. So
it's like factual. It doesn't sound like it's like conspiring and stuff like that. It's like this is fact.
Yeah. No, 100%. So you'll see that if I played a little bit in the video that I made. But yeah, while it's both a treat, it is also kind of like ugh, at the same time. But I'll take what I can get, especially for this game that hopefully keeps growing, especially in the way that like I think Friday the 13th did. Now Friday the 13th had some legal issues, and that's why it kind of stopped. It was in the middle of like trying to fix itself. This game is not as broken as Friday the 13th. This is actually a pretty solid shooter with 4 people. Well, not shooter. I'm sorry. A multiplayer game, because all the parts that are hindering it are technically still the shooting. The shooting still needs a little bit better. It's better on PC. I'll give you that. But the actual like moment to moment feel of you and your team looking out for the predator, looking out for the mission, it's a lot of fun. So
I guess you kind of answered my second question in that. Do you think with like continual support and stuff like that, do you think that this game could be like I feel like whenever we talk about this game, it's almost like a joke, right? It's like we played it that one time, and we had like tons of fun, but like there were some like it was kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I still had like an amazing time, and I keep on. And despite that, me saying like, oh, it's bad or whatever, that's just me being critical and being video game critic, Mike. But like me wanting to play video games, Mike, just to have some fun. Like that game is incredible.
Yeah,
like, it's such dumb fun. It's fun to play with friends and stuff like that. And I keep on like, when I have the money, I'm going to buy this game on PC because I just bought this PC. I don't know if you noticed, I'm in a different room now. I moved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got this PC and everything. I'm like, yes, I bought this $1,200 PC to play Predator, Rainbow Six Siege, and World of Warcraft. So,
great.
But like, yeah, I don't know. Do you think this game has legs moving forward? I feel like Friday the 13th did. Even though, and you were saying too, like Friday the 13th even had its ups and downs. Like it had its broken moments, but still was beloved by a lot of people. Do you think this could be the same case?
Yeah, I think yes, I think it absolutely could expand depending on what is the scope of what they decide to do next. Now, if the maps that they continue to make, if they end up being too similar in terms of like just constant jungles, then I think eventually it's going to lose its luster with like the play style, because the maps that they have right now, I think, are fine for the jungle settings. But then you think of like movies like Predator 2, and then I know that Predator 2 is not the most like beloved, but how cool would it be if it was an urban sort of warfare kind of style? Like if it was like, it doesn't have to be New York or wherever the hell, or LA where that movies take place, but it could be in like some war zone in Bosnia or something where it's just like at least civilized enough where it's weird to have a predator there, and what could be differently in how you like bounce through the systems. But
concrete jungle, man,
the concrete, like a concrete jungle level, literally. Like I think that would be actually pretty interesting. It's just that it just depends on what their scope is. Now when it comes to like characters, unless they bring in lore from other movies, then I'm not sure, like, the people that are still alive, because clearly this is existing in the timeline of Predator movies where Dutch is continued on. Now, could that mean Danny Glover has an appearance? I don't know why he would. Why would he be in the jungle?
That would be so good.
Does it make sense? I watched, by the way, speaking of Danny Glover, I watched Jumanji 2, The Next Level, and Kevin Hart's interpretation.
Wait, so 3?
I'm sorry, 3. You're right.
Okay, I just didn't know if it was like Jumanji.
Welcome to the Jungle, Jumanji, The Next Level.
Is the first one called Welcome to the Jungle?
The rock version.
The second one, I mean?
The second one's called Welcome to the Jungle.
Okay, and then the third one's called The Next Level?
Yes. because it's a sequel. Because it's literally the next level.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
The third one, which I'm excited for if it happens, not spoiling the second one, but it's hopefully going to feel like the first one, I hope. So we'll see. But anyways, just having Kevin Hart do Danny Glover would be phenomenal. But yeah, or what if, well, I don't remember, Gary Busey dies in Predator 2, I think, right?
I believe
What
he
if
does.
his son, Jake Busey, decides, you're like, you know what? I want to hunt the Predator because he killed my father.
Are Alien vs. Predator movies canon? In Predator, is Adrian Brody,
Yes.
is he in canon?
Yeah, he's still canon.
Did he live?
He lives, but he's trapped on that planet. Explain how he comes back. Maybe he's back on
Yeah.
Earth, you know, like that.
Yeah.
That could, because that movie ends so ambiguously that they don't return back to it. They move on to the new Predator movie. Maybe explain. Maybe he actually comes back and he had to do some terrible shit to get his way, you know, down here. I don't know, like something. The Alien movies are technically canon only because of Predator 2 has the skull of Alien.
Yeah.
But you know, they could be offshoots.
There'd be no reason to see like Ripley in this video game.
No, there shouldn't be. If any, no, it wouldn't be Ripley. It would most likely, it'd be Michael, unless they're the sons of Michael Biehn or the daughter, grandsons, or great grandkids. Like, I would love Michael. You know what? Take it back. I take everything back. Let's go fantasy with Predator Hunting Grounds. They had a lore. They have Dutch. Okay, cool. Now let's bring in Commando.
Yes.
Not only are we bringing Commando, we're also bringing Cobra. We're also going to bring in Chuck Norris. We're also going to bring
Just all.
Kurt Russell, Snake Plissken.
I think they have 4 more or 3 more slated DLC packs, and I believe all of them come with playable characters.
Okay, and then they're going to be different Predators too.
I have no idea, to be honest.
No, that's fine. I mean, whatever they end up bringing, I think could add so much. Like, definitely better scopes, maybe improvements to the gun battle, you know, like all these things that I think would actually really benefit making Predator a much better game than it is right now. I think it's a good starting point. I believe it was $40. It's $40 right now. By the way, if you are still watching this and the Epic Store sale is still going on, you get a free $10 coupon off of any game. You can use that towards this. I used it the other day when I bought it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I got it. Yeah, everyone gets it. Everyone gets. So the funny thing about the Epic, the Epic Store thing is that not only do you get $10 off, but you get the coupon again. You can use it again to anything else. So I bought 4 things. I bought 4 games because of that. I bought Ghostbusters and I bought something else. Oh, Control DLC.
Like almost. I was gonna say I would almost want to get Control again.
Yeah.
And play it through on PC
instead. You want to check out that ray tracing.
Well, I want to check out that. I also want it to perform like 10 times better because that game is really good. I think I would like it more if it performed better because there was
not work that way. You need a monitor. It does not work the exact same. But anyways, I think that's really it for Predator. I think we definitely got to talk into the meat. We got to move on to the meat. You know what I'm saying?
We do. And just to reiterate once again, Mario does have a video on youtube.com/DualShockers where you can check out some gameplay of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator Hunting Grounds.
That's right.
Yeah, let's get to the next topic here, which is Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath.
That's right.
Now, I am reviewing this expansion for DualShockers, and I'm going to be doing some guides and whatnot throughout the week. I'll try to get them out as soon as possible. I'm kind of in a weird rut right now because I just moved and like I am just beyond tired.
No,
but yeah, like I'll get some stuff out, but we'll have this out, and you'll know my opinion. You just won't know my score, basically. But yeah, but Mario, you did not play it, but you did watch cutscenes, didn't you?
I watched literally every cutscene for this game for Aftermath.
What? How long was that?
So I saw there was two different versions, one of a guy playing the game and another of just the cutscenes, and the cutscenes were 2 hours. So 2 hours,
Okay.
A little under 2 hours, because the end of the video I watched actually had all the final, like when you beat the game, when you beat like 8 characters and you get that story piece ending. So it had that included. But no, it was about under 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think my playthrough would have been around 3 hours.
Okay.
I think I guess there's a total of 8 chapters or 6 chapters, I believe.
Yeah,
but technically one of them is just credits, so there's really only 5.
Gotcha.
And
I love that they continue the numbers from when the game ends.
Yeah, so just let's to kind of introduce this Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. We have a discussion video on this already, so I don't want to get too into the weeds on it.
Sure.
But it is a continuation of where the story left off in the base game's story. So this is legitimately happening right at the end. Like it continues right from the beginning.
Yes.
Or right at the end of the first story, where Liu Kang is going to create a new universe or whatever. What a weird game. But then if you've seen like any of the trailers, Shang Tsung along with Fujin, who's one of the DLC characters, and Nightwolf come in and they're like, hey, you can't do this because you don't have the Crown of Chronica. And you can't really actually use the hourglass to change anything. By the way, that's not much of a spoiler. That's kind of known, but I'm going to get into spoilers. We're going to get into spoilers potentially.
Let's have a separate spoiler section. Let's talk about thoughts, and then we'll actually talk about spoilers.
But that's just a general thing, and then it just becomes almost like this weird romp with Nightwolf, Fujin, and Shang Tsung, just time jumping around everywhere. And personally, and I guess we'll go into just my brief thoughts on it. I really, really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I believe it's still the guy voice acting Shang Tsung is the guy who was from the movie.
It's 100% Johnny Tsunami, and it's phenomenal. Yeah.
It's awesome. And he does an awesome job. He's so good in it.
He just goes right back into it. And whenever you get him to say his lines that he says from the movie, it's just
it's perfect, dude. It's it was amazing. It made me like Shang Tsung more. I never I've played a lot of Mortal Kombat games. Shang Tsung was never one of my favorites. I know a lot of people do love him, but he just was never one that I liked.
Sure.
And then their story DLC comes out with him. It's mostly him. Yeah. And it's awesome. I love the character. I love the voice acting. I liked his voice acting at least. And I really like the story that it was telling, and some of the choices that you have too. And how it it just ends on a weird note. We'll get into that because that's kind of a spoiler thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It definitely ends on a weird note, but in that I like the idea of in the first one where you kind of they could restart it. They could do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
And after this one, okay, I just don't know. Basically, I don't know where they're gonna go from here. In a way, where there's definitely a specific path, and I just don't want to get too much into it. Which RoboCop isn't in the story, by the way. I was hoping that RoboCop would have made.
I remember when we first talked about it. I was like, oh, maybe RoboCop's in. I'm like, no, he's not.
Put
the Joker in there. It is what it
is. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, what were your thoughts from what you've seen? I know you've played Mortal Kombat, so you know.
Yeah, I know
the
Mortal
kind of
Kombat
the structure and everything of how this would work out and stuff like that. But
for sure,
from the cutscenes you saw, what did you think of it?
I mean, what I come away from all Mortal Kombat games is that at least with the modern ones, with the last 3, it's just that I'm just totally into the story, 100% into having this sort of like the first, Mortal Kombat 9, if I'm not mistaken, Mortal Kombat 9 being sort of like a reboot of Mortal Kombat and being very similar to the movie that I remember because I love the movie so much. And then to see how they diverted and told herself a new story that I still felt was in line and spirit of Mortal Kombat. They jumped far ahead more than I thought they would with 10, being what it's like, basically like it's your kids. it's all the kids, being a part of it. For this game to being all about we've fixed we thought we were trying to fix the timeline the first time, but it turns out we've effed it up yet again. So now we're gonna have to wipe the slate clean. Who do we get to helps fix everything? We bring back the original cast from like the very first game, which are different from even the versions that were with the 9, which is kind of cool. But other than that, really cool to have them part of this game. For this DLC to continue on for where the game ends, which if you don't know how the game ends, it's fucking crazy. I think that the DLC itself, while is pretty fun, I do think that where they end the DLC, it's sort of like we're back to square one, Yeah.
Yes.
And that to me is the only detriment of these games, of this specific DLC. However, there are stuff that happens within it that are actually interesting and are context to stuff going forward, or at least in the past, which is actually revelatory. So that's actually kind of cool. And I think that once we go to spoilers, I think that's where we're going to be talking about primarily. But yeah, I still had a good time watching it. It sucks that I didn't get to play it. But I'm going to eventually play RoboCop. I'm eventually going to play... Fujin was a character who I'm not the most familiar with. I'm actually like, oh, he's really cool. So
I think Fujin was only in Mortal Kombat 4.
Yeah, and that's a game I haven't played. So I think that's really cool. I think he's actually fairly interesting. And the characters that I find the most interesting are actually Sindel. So we'll go from there.
Yep. I also wanted to say, too, that there was... Just to give a little context of what else came with this DLC, there's a new story. There's the 3 new characters, like I said, Fujin, Shiva, and RoboCop. They are playable and fightable from day one. You don't have to wait until like next month to play Fujin, or the next one, kind of like how the Combat Pass was. You don't have to worry about that stuff. It also but this was also with a free update. It did come with new stage fatalities. Which that wasn't in the game. Stage fatalities weren't in the game before. Friendships, which are awesome, and a few new stages as well. And those all came with a free update. So you didn't need to buy it. I believe this DLC is $39.99 alone.
Yes.
If you haven't bought it though, or let me see here.
If you haven't bought the full game,
if you haven't bought the game or the DLC or the combat pack, you could get all of it for $60.
Yes.
Or if you've bought the base game but not the combat pack, you could get the expansion and the combat pack for $50.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It makes as much sense as they want us to make sense.
Yes.
It's like.
Also, if you pre-ordered it, there was a Eternal Clash skin pack, which came with skins for Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Frost, all inspired by like old Mortal Kombat games. Like the Scorpion one that they have is based off of the Mortal Kombat 9 costume. The Sub-Zero one is based off of Mortal Kombat Deception.
Oh, nice.
And then the Frost skin is kind of like a classic Lin Kuei, like Sub-Zero look.
Nice.
So that's everything that came with it. Now, we're going to cut it right here.
Yeah, this is your warning. This is your big
warning.
Big old warning.
Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo.
Yeah, the screen just me and him. Okay? And go ahead.
Okay, so the ending of this thing is... It depends, because there's a choice. You either choose.
There's one true ending.
Okay, how should we do this? Should we just discuss kind of like the basic beats of the story at the end? So basically, this entire time, Shang Tsung, Fujin, and Nightwolf are trying to find Kronika's crown the entire time.
Yes.
And they end up finding it.
Yes.
And they go through some of the different events that happened in Mortal Kombat 11 story.
Yeah, they
like throughout it.
This DLC is basically Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, essentially. So you're going back to events from the story already, and kind of changing events, even though they're kind of like, wait, we can't change anything because it will fuck everything up, and then they just change everything and fuck everything up anyway.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And then, but yeah, they end up getting Kronika's crown, and it kind of ends where it ended in the last one, where you're on the Sea of Blood or whatever it's called. I can't remember exactly.
Sea of Blood. Sea of Blood.
Something like that. And where they're invading Kronika's like palace or whatever.
Yeah.
And Shang Tsung finally, inevitably, betrays you. And they talk about it the entire time. They're like, we'll be ready for it. We'll be ready for when you betray us.
They were
not ready.
No, they were not ready.
And I guess they even go with that as well. Like to kind of foreshadow that with Kronika's, like they have no idea how crazy this man is. Yeah. They have no idea, and they like build them up. That's why I really like this. I really love that it put a focus on Shang Tsung and like him just being a total fucking dick and badass. Like it's freaking awesome. And Johnny Tsunami or whatever. I don't know his name. I need to find his name, Mario.
Okay.
I can't remember. But like,
I got my phone.
But he does his voice acting in it is so like perfect.
So good.
It's not like we're seeing like Death Stranding at the end of Death Stranding or something like that, or like Troy Baker in The Last of Us. It's not like crazy good, but it goes perfectly well with the story, and it's so good. Like he does such a great job. But
all right, I'm gonna try.
Once I hear it, I might know.
His name is Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa. Hiroyuki Tagawa.
That sounds right.
Yeah. I use hooked on phonics.
Yeah. But yeah, eventually he finally betrays you. No one was ready.
No.
He fucks everyone up. And then he goes to Kronika. You fight Kronika, fucks her up real bad. and then it's you and Fire God Liu Kang.
Oh yeah, and spoilers there. Obviously, is Liu Kang's like, I was here the whole time. I lied to you.
He's like, yeah, I lied to you. I knew this was gonna happen the entire time. And Shang Tsung's like, you're kind of a dick because you just let all your friends die anyway. You asshole.
He's like cold blooded. It's like, well, they're not really dead in my new Eden or whatever.
They're not really dead. They'll come back. Well, whatever the fuck, because time. But at that moment, you could choose who to be in that last battle. You can either choose to be Shang Tsung or Liu Kang, and this basically ends up being like what the result of the universe is, like who takes control of the universe, who shapes the future, or who shapes the universe at all. Like it's really crazy.
One other small detail, which was awesome, was Shang Tsung comes out, and it's obviously older Shang Tsung in this time frame, but once he puts that crown on, he becomes straight up Mortal Kombat like original movie Shang Tsung.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I was like, yes,
it's really good.
Put this man in all your games. He's so good.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Yes,
it was a good moment.
Yeah,
and then so you're basically fighting to see who gets control of the crown, and also the control of the hourglass, which controls time.
Yes.
Time and space, I guess. At the end, if you choose Liu Kang and you win, or when you choose Liu Kang, it goes to the far back. It's like really far back to where I don't remember where Kung Lao is from or what his thing is.
Yeah, from the Shang. No,
I don't remember what faction he is in, but they're like the really peaceful monk people.
Yeah, the flower. Yeah.
Lotus, Flying Lotus
Clan. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
He it's before he even has his nice little hat. It's before all of that. And Liu Kang's like, he goes up to him and is like, "Hey, want to hang out, rule the world, rule the universe together?"
No,
he's like, "I don't even know you." He's like, "You're not as corrupt as the Kung Lao I knew." He's like, "The one you knew." And then they're like, "Come hang out with me," and then. He's like, okay, and then they leave.
I have White Claws. Would you like to come have a White Claws with me? Well,
essentially,
they're watermelon. Essentially, he does the thing that like Raiden does for him.
Liu Kang.
He chooses him as his champion.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, which is different. It's not the same thing. It's, we're going in this route where instead of Raiden being the all-seeing guide for, the Earth realm,
Liu Kang is.
It's Liu Kang.
Yeah.
So I'm curious.
It's just like it's just like, why does he need to? That's the thing that's like confusing me, is that if he crafted the world in the way that he wanted to, why would he be like, yeah, let's have another Mortal Kombat tournament?
Listen, there's a balance to the universe, and there has to be evil in it. So he had to create evil again, and there has to be this balance of this tournament because everything.
I just soon he's probably back.
Listen. EDM had to exist. They had to make that song. That song exists in this universe as well, so they needed it for a fighting tournament.
Now, when you choose Shang Tsung,
yes,
the ending I think is really funny and good. If you played the base game, there's like an area of like giant thrones where like all the elder gods are at.
Yeah,
and they're like giant. And then they shrink down into like human form when they come to Earth or Nether Realm or Earth Realm or wherever they're going and fighting you. Well, instead it ends up being that Shang Tsung is now like the elder god that everybody, and he's just this giant. Yeah, there's one chair. This giant Shang Tsung and Raiden and Fujin are there because Fujin is Raiden's brother.
Yeah,
and they're like, we're killed all the universe, all the realms are gonna die. They're all dead. They're your servants now.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Chaos Realm and Order Realm, which the fuck.
Yeah, and Shang Tsung's just like, perfect. It is beginning. My triumph is good.
Yes.
And it ends there on a really kind of.
It ends on that iconic line too of like, it has begun. Yeah,
it's really good. Every part of him. That's what makes this thing so good.
No, 100%.
Is him. I didn't really like.
I did like
Fujin's voice acting. It was it was all right. It wasn't like Ronda Rousey with.
Did she get cut out of this? Because there's a scene where Sonya is in it.
She hardly talks in it. She doesn't even talk in it.
That's hilarious. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
But Johnny Cage has a few talking parts, and because you don't even fight Sonya.
That's right. But she's in that scene.
You only fight Johnny Cage in that scene.
That's right. Yeah. God, yeah. I have so many questions. Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool, and I like how they gave basically all the DLC characters from before, so that are actual Mortal Kombat characters. So, and also the new ones that they introduced, like Fujin, Nightwolf, Shiva, and Syndrome. Oh, and Shang Tsung. They all have their own playable chapter in this.
Yes.
Kind of like having all the Mortal Kombat characters have their own chapter in like the story and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. It was
I did really like that.
That was really well done.
I thought, I was surprised because, when you think of fighting game DLC, you're now like, yes, finally, new story DLC for this fighting game that I've been playing competitively. But lo and behold, NetherRealms has kind of been like the masters of storytelling in a fighting game, because it never has to be like anything. Like, again, like I'm always going to bring up The Last of Us right now because it's almost coming.
It's on our minds.
And I'm kind of playing it, but it's not going to be like The Last of Us storytelling. You're not looking for this gritty, crazy, like high level, high bar cinematic storytelling kind of stuff. You're looking for a fun ride. You're looking for Mortal Kombat the movie, like you said. And yes. I think the stories that are told in here are better than the Mortal Kombat movie, but it still has like that kind of flavor, that kind of cheesiness, this is a fun action romp. It's a good time.
It has to have it has to have that solid like 90s action movie of like Demolition Man or like any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. But it does have to have some sensibilities of like, this is an interesting idea of stories and ideologies, but other than that, it's just about a bunch of people kicking each other, and it's hilarious and fun.
Yeah, it's great. And I did review the base game. I loved it. It was probably my favorite game last year. I gave it a 9. And I think that game is amazing, and to see that they were able to go again and make another great story, continuing that story in the same game, and which is something that NetherRealms hasn't done before, even with the Injustice games, which is I think is made perfect for that kind of stuff, for short storytelling and stuff like that, with the characters and cast that they have for like a DC Comics thing.
Yeah.
And using it for Mortal Kombat characters, I think they did like a really really great job. I really really like the story mode, and again, like Shang Tsung's the star, and it's so good. Like I was surprised character in it, and also it's kind of more digestible because you kind of just sit down for like 3 hours or so, beat it, and call it a day.
Yeah.
And you finish it. It's great. Which might be like something that people don't like because it is like a $40 piece of content and you want your money's worth, you know?
Of course.
But I do think you get your money's worth too with all the characters and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a good time. I really really liked it. So
Yeah, no, I really liked it, and let me talk about some of the like stuff that is actually revealed in this DLC, which,
yeah,
from what I understand, it's new. It's technically new information, which is, Sindel was supposedly murdered because she was married to Shao Kahn by Queen. Sorry, I can't say his name.
So she was married to Jared.
Jared, yes.
Who was the old ruler of the Khan, whatever that thing was.
Yeah, sure.
But then Shao Kahn came in, murdered him, and took Sindel as his wife.
That's right. Which makes Katana.
And then Katana is Jared and Sindel's daughter.
Yes.
And then at some point, Quan Chi supposedly committed suicide, but she actually didn't. Quan Chi murdered her.
Yes. And then,
but Quan Chi's dead, so they can't really do anything with Quan Chi.
No, Quan Chi's dead. Or was she a monster? I can't remember. She wasn't. Was she human in that?
I don't think she. Oh, I don't know.
I got to go back, but what they explain in here is that she actually, again, this is what happened. This is one of the big moments in actually 9, is that she comes and kills all of your favorite people, including Nightwolf and Jax and all these people, like brutally, who end up being the Revenants in 10, who are also in this game. But basically, she kills all of them, and then Nightwolf kills her. What's cool about this DLC is then it expands the story with both Nightwolf and her, because now Nightwolf has to bring her back to life, because supposedly Shang Tsung says that they need her for whatever purpose.
And it turns out like they kind of just didn't.
No, because the real twist is that she's fucking evil as fuck.
She's fucking evil. But she doesn't even care about what Shang Tsung wants.
No.
So like no one needed anybody in that. Like it was That's some. I guess. It's like
well,
maybe,
Shang Tsung needed her to get Khan, which then led them to destroy all of the people.
Sure. So I guess for Shang Tsung it worked out.
Yeah, for Shang Tsung it's all a master plan of his own. But basically for her, it's revealed that no, she was an evil fucker from way back. She killed Jared, not Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
And once that happened, the game to me opened up more, because a lot of shit was going crazy. Because people that you loved are dying. Like fucking Kung Lao gets thrown off the boat and is dead in a bottomless sea. Fucking Liu Kang gets his legs broken in.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
So that doesn't make sense to me.
It was pretty cool when it was like the normal Liu Kang, his legs were getting broken in, and then like all of a sudden the Revenant one was like running at Raiden or something, and he just gives out. You see his like freaking bone hanging out of his leg.
That's right.
That was wild.
But that to me, that creates a plot hole. And the plot hole is, well, if he is being hurt in the past and the Revenant is feeling it, why isn't future Liu Kang feeling it?
Maybe it's
I mean, I guess
maybe
Elder God
maybe,
bullshit, but
maybe only that and also maybe it's like an area thing, like maybe you have to be in the same vicinity,
no,
in the
because
same
in the base
timeline.
game, remember how Kano dies? Kano gets fucking
does he
erased
die?
from the timeline.
How did it
His
happen?
younger self gets killed, his older self just dies.
Ah,
Yeah. So he's erased entirely from the timeline, from his younger self all the way up to his future self.
huh.
So in theory, Liu Kang getting his legs busted fucks up Revenant, because the Revenant should never exist in the first place.
This is why time travel is so hard, because because that makes sense, right? If your past self dies, your future self doesn't exist.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Fire Liu Kang is the future.
In my mind,
In your mind,
Mario,
mind's eye.
in my mind, if you're in the same timeline together,
Sure.
if you like at the same moment, if like there's a past and future Liu Kang, let's say, for example, if the past Liu Kang gets hurt, then the future Liu Kang would get hurt if they're in the same timeline.
And there's 3 Liu Kangs technically in the same timeline.
But that Liu Kang might not be there at the same time.
But he says, I mean, granted,
like he's always there. He's always there because he's more than a god at this point.
So does that just cheat? Like, because the reason why I say is that cheating? Because
it's not cheating, because he won. He beat Chronicon in the end of the game.
In his timeline, sure, in his timeline. And then is it Star Trek? See, this is where the internet, this is where the fucking shit gets. Is it Star Trek / Back to the Future, where like this is main timeline, this is now the Shang Tsung timeline of him winning?
Yeah, it is totally that, because remember in the other game where they talk about how all the time it's always Raiden and Liu Kang at the end of it. They always confront each other. And those are all individual timelines.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So I would say that, yes. I would say that they're all individual timelines.
So the Liu Kang that got his legs busted all existed because they're from the same timeline?
Maybe.
Okay. I will accept that. Because technically he is from a different timeline. You're right.
So maybe if you're from the same timeline, then you can only be erased from your... But if you're from a different timeline, then you can't be erased from a... It's weird.
It's weird.
It's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain. But yeah, you get it.
It's good. It's real good. That's why. This is what Mortal Kombat's not for thinking, it's for fighting.
That's right. That's right. You gotta think, punching things.
I gotta think on the fly. Gotta just go.
I'll ask a friend if he can like explain it to me, because I have a friend that worked on the game, so we'll see. We'll see.
What he says. That'd be great. Yeah. I mean, it's great. The game is awesome. I love it.
The final answer is this game is awesome.
Yeah, I really like it. If you liked any of the story stuff from Mortal Kombat 11 or any of it at all, if you like Mortal Kombat, I definitely recommend it. It's super good. I think it's worth the money. $40 is a lot. I understand that. But if you do play it like semi regularly, and like digging around with other characters and stuff like that, I think this is a pretty worthwhile addition. Well, I don't know if they'll add more stuff to it either, but
I can't imagine, man. Like, this has to be the final throw, right? Instead of what I'm happy about this is that they didn't just do what they did for the last several games, which is like a gold edition. This actually had some substance to it in terms of like this story is continued.
I will say, if you had not bought this game yet because you were waiting for like a gold edition or something like that, I think right now is a really great time to get it. This is the gold edition because you're getting 10 characters with the package, because the combat pack didn't actually come with Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn was a pre-order bonus, and you had to buy him separately.
Which blew. But
with this one, with the expansion, you get Shao Kahn. Mm-hmm. So you get that extra character. So yeah, you get you get 10 characters, you get all these new stages and whatnot. That's technically a free update, but you get all that stuff, and you also get like an extended story, which adds like another 2-3 hours, and it's all solid. It's all really well done.
No, 100%.
So I would say if you've not bought this game yet, definitely go. Even if you bought the game and you got the combat pack, and you didn't get the combat pack or this expansion, you should get that package, the $50 one, because that's worth it too. So
no, for sure.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts at all?
No. I think that Mortal Kombat is amazing. I love NetherRealm. I really love what they've been doing over the last. I mean, it feels like it's been a decade, right, of games, including 9, 10, 11. Injustice 2. Like, to me, they've been knocking it out of the park in terms of fighting games, especially with the story of fighting games. I'm excited to see what they do next. Do I want them to try something else? Yes, but if they keep making amazing fighting games, that's all I need.
I think there's a certain niche with like the Mortal Kombat style of fighting games that it feels kind of like a void. In my opinion, I think right now there's I feel like there's like this popular trend with fighting games with like auto comboing and stuff like that. A lot of the like Arc System Works games, which are amazing. They are amazing fighting games. It's like Dragon Ball Fighters, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Like, those games are amazing. They are some of the like 2 of the best fighting games that are out right now, like for sure. But I feel like it's hitting a trend where I feel like they're simplifying some of the systems in fighting games, which isn't like a bad thing. I don't want to sound like some
negative Nancy,
like elitist and negative thing, but it's definitely more approachable, and so is Mortal Kombat 2. And I think Mortal Kombat 11 is probably like one of the most approachable Mortal Kombat games ever. Because I'm having a blast playing it, and to be honest, I'm not good at fighting games or games in general, but I could go online and I could still win sometimes, and it feels really good.
Don't tell them about the time you called me at midnight to kick my ass.
I told you I'm good at the game.
Yeah, he is pretty good at the game, guys.
You just have to let me use Cabal. I'll be all right.
Fuck Cabal.
But yeah, like I feel like there's been like a trend lately with like, like that kind of style where there's a lot of auto combos and stuff like that. And I think this fills a void where it doesn't do that. Like Mortal Kombat has like its own unique style, its own unique in terms of art and gameplay. Like it's got the gore and stuff like that, and I think it fills that niche really well. Similar to like how, I don't know, like Street Fighter and its style is, with that cartoony style, and it's iconic gameplay. So I think Mortal Kombat 11 is like one of the best fighting games out there. It's my favorite. I think it's the best fighting game, but people would be like, Super Smash Brothers.
It didn't originally get an Evo, so it's not as good.
Except it is now.
It is. Suckers. Where else are you gonna play? Melee.
If the game had it just shows that they have decent net code. and Nintendo needs to work on something, maybe. Maybe. You want Smash in there. Have you tried playing Smash online?
Yeah.
It's still bad.
I'm not good at Smash, so I don't know.
I'm not good at Smash either. So, but there's a difference between being good and also hitting right and then a second later the character moving. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, yeah, I think that sums up our discussion. I want to just close off by saying I want to get Predator Hunting Grounds real bad on my mind.
Buy it. I'll give you $20. Do you feel okay if I'll talk about this offline?
I might get it.
Talk about this offline.
Might get it.
I'm playing it. We're streaming this tonight.
Everybody, thank you once again for dealing with our bullshit. This has been another DualShockers discussion. Thank you for listening. Well, watching. We don't have this as a podcast. I'm so used to like podcasting.
I know.
I always say listen instead of watching. But thank you for watching our DualShockers discussion for today. If you go to the website www.dualshockers.com, check out more content just like this, and also news and reviews and whatnot that are written, the written word, a lost art. Also, you could check out youtube.com/. youtube.com/DualShockers and check out more videos. Again, Mario put up a video of him playing as Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator Hunting Grounds.
Yes.
There's also a Maneater review on there.
Yes,
There's some
there
other
is.
stuff too. Is there any what other recent uploads you put up there?
There was the Tony Hawk discussion that we had, and of course there's
yeah.
the Xbox stuff where we talked about Xbox for a minute with Cam Hawkins.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be talking more stuff in the very near future, whatever that ends up being. Maybe about
We'll
this
find
this PlayStation event coming up. Who knows?
We're gonna find a way to talk about something next week.
At least you'll be able to talk. You hear us again for at least 50 minutes.
Yeah. Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at the YouTube at youtube.com/thatMarioRivera or on Twitch at thatMarioRivera. You can also find me at the DualShockers YouTube, where I put most of my efforts. That Mario Rivera on Twitter, and pretty much that Mario Rivera anywhere. Just Google me, just Google me. Put up those numbers. Just Google me,
Just Google it.
Just Google me. I have an OnlyFans. It's called OnlyFeet.
Do you have a cameo yet?
No, I should get a cameo. That'd be great. Matt Hardy's got a cameo.
Just do $1 cameos.
I gotta know what the fees are on the cameo. That'd be awesome.
True. You got a good point.
That's right.
And remember also on any of the like the YouTube videos and whatnot, make sure to like them. Make sure to also subscribe to our channel. Make sure to ring the subscribe bell or the bell thing, even though I told you not to that one time. Look, I still am with that, but sure. Ring it, I guess.
Hit it.
And you can find me on Twitter at the Michael Ruiz, and you can also find DualShockers on Twitter at DualShockers, and follow them. We got verified recently, so that's cool.
Yay! Can we get verified if we're verified on them? No, is that how that works?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Anyway, again, thank you, and have a nice night or morning.
You're not even on screen.